All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak. Double honors to apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Nab, coming out with a lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying to the Lord's elect. I found this video on NBC News. It says, surveillance video captures moment of New Jersey bow and arrow attack. This was 9 hours ago. Let's check it out. I don't know why this is so...
Saturday night, zoomed-in surveillance video captured the apparent sound of a bow snap. And then you see 45-year-old Pablo Cerrillo jerk in pain. An arrow had just pierced his back on Kearny Avenue. News 4 is not showing the moment he collapses. His widow was beside herself with grief, just steps away from where an arrow took her husband's life. We were happy that day, she said. He just wanted to get home faster to plan the next day's shopping for Christmas. The Hudson County prosecutor says this man, 44-year-old Oscar Fiejo, is the bow and arrow assassin. More than 18 hours after the bow and arrow attack, the suspect gave himself up. Heavily armed police walked him out of the house to a waiting ambulance. Paula Arnez says the senseless targeting of her husband just days before Christmas is unbearable for her children.
We thank you for...
That's crazy, man. He looked like an Edomite, but you don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy spirits out here. Dude hit him with a bow and an arrow. That's crazy. Looked like a damn Edomite. You gotta watch out. Surveillance video showed moment a man was fatally shot by a suspect with a bow and arrow. And then the dude stays and gets arrested. That shit don't make no sense, man. Some evil times that we're in. Let me grab this in the book of Isaiah 45:7. You know, the Lord does all these things if you don't know it. You know, you think you're safe. If you ain't right with the Lord, man, anything can happen to you if you ain't right with the Lord. Isaiah 45:7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So you need to fear the Lord. That's probably one of the most important precepts to understand, is that he forms the light and creates darkness. Let's look this up. Let's see what Google says about this precept here. Let's see what it says. Isaiah 45, verse 7, from AI Overview. God says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Highlights God's supreme sovereignty over all aspects of life, good and bad, using Hebrew words like ra, that mean disaster, calamity, or adversity, not inherent morals, evil like sin. The verse contrasts opposites, light, dark, peace, disaster, to show God's ultimate control, using King Cyrus as his instrument to bring both peace, return to Israel, and judgment, calamity to Babylon. It asserts that God orchestrates worldly events, both prosperous and difficult, for his purposes, not that he authors sin. So he orchestrated this for his purpose. Okay, ultimately, it's probably because of sin. You know, people, they don't want to hear this word. They think it's a joke. They think whatever the hell. And then the calamity comes and they're surprised that they get destroyed. This is a day-to-day thing. Every single day he's doing it. Let me grab the book of Ecclesiasticus and go through the precepts. You know, when people get put to death, this is what goes through my mind. Ecclesiasticus 39, verse 28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of their destruction. Salakia, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So the Lord allowed this man to die that way because he wanted to be appeased. Who knows how many times this brother's in New Jersey teaching this word, and you didn't want to hear the message. Just like our forefathers in the wilderness, they didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to recognize. They didn't want to believe the report. You know, when Joshua and Caleb and the spies went out to spy out the land of Canaan, and they brought back fruit, big, huge grapes, grapes, the size that it need two people to carry a bushel, I think they called it. Let me see if I can find that precept. I think it's in the book of Numbers, the 14th chapter. When Joshua and Caleb came back with grapes, Numbers 13, verse 23. Let's go there real quick. Joshua, they got even little stories of it. Grapes from Canaan. Let's go there real quick. Numbers 13, in verse 23. Just to show you that, people ain't gonna believe, man. Numbers 13, the spies report, verse 25, and they returned from searching of the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, we came unto the land whither thou sentest us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. So they brought back proof, showing you, look at how big these damn grapes are, man. You need two of us to carry them, man. Why wouldn't you want a land like that? You never seen no grapes like that, man. They risk their lives to go bring back proof just to show you the truth, man. If a spy gets caught in a foreign land, he's worthy to get put to death. That's why they don't send everybody. They send a couple people. If they don't make it back, it's probably because they were caught. Okay. Numbers 13, verse 28. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and by the coast of Jordan. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and possess it, for we are all able to overcome it. So look at that. Caleb was ready. That's the type of spirit the Lord's dealing with somebody like that. He showed him the land. He showed him how great it was. It was just like he said it was going to be. He brought back proof, matching it up with the scriptures. And that's sort of like what we do through the spirit when we show you the truth. We're giving you the proof. We matching it up with current events, and you're not marrying it. You're not believing the report. But the men that went up with him said, we be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. So Caleb had a different report than the others who he saw differently. They didn't have the eye salve. Like a lot of you don't. You don't have the anointing oil to get through just the simple things of what we telling you. You got that same unbelieving spirit as Israel was in the wilderness. Numbers 13 verse 32, and they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel. So they brought up an evil report. Okay, not like Caleb said, look, we got to go at once so we can possess it. He had the zeal, he had the right spirit, but the majority of the Israelites, y'all don't have it. Saying the land, though, through which we have gone to search it, is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of a great stature. And that's how y'all look at the Esau today. You think can't nobody take him down, but you don't believe the report. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. So you were unbelieving. Okay. But the point of the matter is, where's the grapes? It's up more. Numbers 13, verse 23. And they came unto the brook of Eshcol, and cut down from thence a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bare it between two upon a staff, and they brought of the pomegranates and of the figs. The place was called the brook of Eshcol because of the cluster of grapes which the children of Israel cut down from thence. So that's how big the grapes were in that area. All right. So it shows you how great that place was, and they didn't want to believe the report. Like a lot of you Israelites don't want to believe the report in this time. Tells you in the book of Isaiah, the 53rd chapter, who have believed our report. Not everyone is privy to receive Yahweh Shai. Because ultimately that's what it's about. It's about Yahweh Shai. If you can't receive him, you can't receive the spirit of prophecy. Isaiah 53:1, who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed. It's ultimately revealed unto the elect. And this is who these digital epistles are ultimately for. Isaiah 53:2, for he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He have no form of comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. And it's talking about Yahweh Shai. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. And that's how he was when he came on the scene. Y'all were rejecting him. Okay, you go into Matthew's, the 23rd chapter. The Sadducees and Pharisees were always coming up against him. And all he was trying to do was, he had the report of Yahweh. He was fulfilling prophecy. And they were bucking up against it. Just like you see today when brothers on the highways and hedges, suffering for Yahweh Shai's sake, walking in his stead, ultimately that builds us up. The backlash, the scoffing, the coming up against, that's all power. More power to us, man. That's how we know we doing the right thing. If you go in the harlot house, that doesn't happen to you. Everyone loves you, and everyone, because you're part of this world. You don't even go against other doctrines within your sect. You go out your way to come up against the Lord. You rarely see, the IUIC went and did church blitzes, but that was years ago. But majority of the people that are on the highways and hedges, they're not coming to y'all, you're going to them. Isaiah 53:4, surely he have borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. And that's Yahweh Shai. And a lot of us are the same way. You don't want to listen to them. You esteem them as stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But ultimately, all of this, according to Hebrews, the 12th chapter, is the Lord chastising us like sons. He did it to his own son. Why wouldn't he do it to his elect? He chose you to go through the furnace of affliction. It's an honor to suffer for righteousness' sake in a wicked society. Isaiah 53:5, but he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Isaiah is prophesying, and at the same time, Yahweh Shai died for the nation of Israel. Okay, he had to pay for his sins too, as King Solomon. When you read 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter, there's no way you can break down the scripture properly if you don't have the proper understanding. You can't eat the whole roll. You'll just skip over that, and you can't skip over these scriptures. All of it are married together, and a lot of y'all don't understand that. Isaiah 53:6, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord Yahweh have laid on him the iniquity of us all. And that's the reason why Yahweh Shai is the reason why we can return back to the Heavenly Father. Because we're going to be through faith, us believing on him. Ultimately, is the real report is to trust in, believe on Yahweh Shai, that he was resurrected from the dead. And because the Lord gave him the power to do that, he has the ability and has the authority to come back and save us. He has that power. And that's the only thing we're waiting for. Isaiah 53:7, he was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearers is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth. And that's the same thing he did with Pilate. But ultimately, he understood his purpose. He wanted the will of the Lord, and that's why he was like that. He was that sheep. He was the Lamb of God. When a sheep is about to get slaughtered, it don't yell and scream like that. Okay? And he had to bear all of that. It's not like he wasn't scared. He showed you he was praying. He was sweating blood. So it was hard to do that. But once the Lord strengthened him to the point where he didn't open his mouth, he wanted the will of the Lord to be done. He said, let thy will be done. Okay, but he prayed for the cup to pass over. And he drank of the cup. Just so he can give his elect the ability, the strength, the power, the wisdom, everything they need to get through the tribulation that they have to get through their walk. But that's ultimately for Israel. Isaiah 53:8, he was taken from prison and from judgment. And that doesn't mean, okay, I don't look at myself as the elect and, I just believe in the Lord. I don't know. Hey, that might be good enough. Believing in Yahweh Shai. Ultimately, that's all you can do. Some people teach, some people do whatever the Lord talent he gave you, they're using that to try to make their calling and election sure. But it starts with faith, and it starts with believing and trusting in him. Okay, it starts with the name. When you meet somebody, you ask them their name, and from there you'll get to know them after that. But if you don't know the name at first, if you don't know somebody's name, you don't respect that person. Somebody tell you their name and you just call them whatever the hell you want, that's disrespectful. So the Lord clearly ain't dealing with you if he don't reveal his name unto you. Isaiah 53 verse 9, and he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he have done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. And the elect are not going to have any deceit in their mouth, any guile in their mouth. They're pure, they're virgins. So it also applies to the elect. Okay, suffering for righteousness' sake. He's the example. And he made his grave with the wicked. He was numbered with the transgressors. And he didn't even do anything wrong. He was blameless. He was doing everything according to the scriptures. They couldn't find any fault in him. Just like the elect you see today, they try to cast fault. Oh, you're racist. So you like little girls and things like that. But when you bring it down to the scriptures, it was a whole different world back then. Okay, the women didn't just do what they did today, but when you put everything into context, you get understanding why the Lord had it that way. Because now what do you see? You live in a world where it's a bunch of adultery. It's rampant adultery. It's like rare you'll find a woman that is with her actual husband, which is the first person she ever slept with. That's a rare thing. It's more common that you don't find a woman like that. And that's because the laws are not being implemented. That's why kids are missing. That's why everything that's wicked is happening, because we transgress the law. Isaiah 53:10. And ultimately, the Lord ain't, put us in that position to rule just yet. Isaiah 53:11. He shall see of the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. And that's what he did. He bared our iniquities. He was the sacrifice for the nation of Israel. He wasn't trying to, he wasn't, how can I put it? He died for the nation of Israel. Their iniquities are upon him. Before he died, we relied on animal sacrifice. We had to bring up an unblemished lamb, ram, or whatever, depending on which sin. There was different sacrifices for different things. And we had to, that's how we atoned for our sins. But those sacrifices weren't enough to atone for our sins, because we end up sinning again. But now, what Yahweh Shai did is he kept the law perfectly and made his body a living sacrifice for the nation of Israel. So he could be exalted and put on high on the right hand of God, because that's what the commandments ultimately was supposed to do. And no one else could do it except for those he gave power to do so. So he gave that power to Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai has given us the power to walk that same path to the best of our ability. And where we slip and fall, he's with us. Isaiah 53 and 12. And we don't got to die for the nation of Israel. We gotta accept his sacrifice. Isaiah 53 and 12. Therefore will I divide him a portion with the great, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he hath poured out his soul unto death, and he was numbered with the transgressors, and he bare the sin of many, and made intercession for the transgressors. So we're the transgressors. He's intercessing for us, ultimately for the elect. Tells you in John the 17th chapter that he ain't praying for the world, which means all Israel. But I want to grab this too. It says Israeli settlers forcibly enter Palestinian home and kill sheep in the West Bank.
دخل المستوطنين من الجهة هاي جهة المستوطن السوسي.
It says the settlers enter from the side, from the direction of the settlement.
قاموا بتكسير باب المنزل تكسير النافذة.
So they're in here stabbing their sheep.
قوها تحت الباب رشوا منها غاز دخلوا على المخازن هان بلشوا يذبحوا في الغنم كسروا
terrorizing them, poking at their tires.
الكمرات سطحوا
Somebody else's land.
مجال السيارة.
You don't think these niggas are gonna do the same? These are the people that sign up for fucking ICE agents and jobs like that. These are gonna be the demons that this devil's gonna unleash on you when he come in like a flood, having no pity on you. Okay, they're gonna be like madmen sparing none. People are profane people. And if that don't put fear in you to serve the Lord, this is not the person you want to be handed over to. Esau, especially Amalek, disgusting. These people are, man. You better hope the Lord's dealing with you. You better listen to the stories that he's doing to these prisoners and stuff. Some of them are being raped. So all that shit's coming back. He did it to the whole nation of Israel during slavery. This is the same people. I don't expect nothing less from this devil. Second Ezra 16:68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And that's talking about the MOTB. Okay, he gonna set up the burning wrath of a great multitude is Esau coming down with great wrath. It's kindled over you, talking about Jacob's trouble. Okay, he's coming to get y'all, because he know he got a short time left. And they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols, and give you the MOTB. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. So if they torture your ass to death, torture you and make you accept the MOTB, you're gonna be destroyed. And he likes that type of shit. He like torturing people. He'll record it, probably watch it before you go to bed. And for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Ultimately, he's gonna try to get the elect, because he thinks in his head if he gets the elect, then it's game over. But it's just not written that way. The game's already been over when Yahweh Shah died. It's been over for thousands of years now. But we still gonna endure and pretty much just watch. You just gotta watch it. You gotta suffer whatever you're going through. Suffer it. This nigga's gone, man. He's done. He's through. And we're gonna watch your destruction. We're gonna clap. We're gonna rejoice. We're gonna drink wine. We're gonna be good. And I can't wait for that day. Just like he celebrates when he's burning you at a cross, when he's hanging you in the woods somewhere, when he's putting you to death and saying you did it to yourself. He gets rejoicement out of that. He feels good about that. So the Lord's going to laugh at him, and his men are going to laugh at him when he gets judged. And the best part about it is he deserves it. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So this is talking about his military. When they go around with these unrighteous decrees, having the authority to kick down your door with some, this is Order 666, and you refuse the MOTB, we want to take you in, or what, just some crazy draconian law he's trying to implement that don't make any sense. That's how crazy it's going to be. Where you ain't going to have a choice. And if the Lord ain't dealing you, he going to give you up and over to to him. And who knows what the hell this devil's going to do when he get his hands on you. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So we trust in these words that he's going to deliver us. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for God is your guide. So he's guiding us. In the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, saith the Lord God. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered over with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns, that no man may travel through. You know, your path, man, it gets if you don't know that, you know, you don't have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, it's like your path is being covered. The men of the Lord are trying to clear that path out for you to show you, hey, this is the way, walk ye in it. But you refuse to go down that way, and so you continue to walk in the uncharted path. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed therewith. So that's the path that you headed down, path of destruction. And when they come in like madmen, you know, they got hoodies on and bats and knives in their hand, and that's the type of people that are gonna, during Jacob's trouble, man, they're gonna be going in there. They're gonna want to rob you, man. Now they're just terrorists right now. They're just terrorizing this, man. They hate these people. So, but through the spirit, man, this is just a bunch of demons, you know, attacking them. Cause he ain't right no way. You heathen are out of here. You ain't got no power. Your power should be protecting you from situations like this, but it's not. So there you go.
هذا العلم.
That's the way you read it.
كانوا يرشوا غاز من داخل الثقب.
They sprayed gas from the hole they made in the door into the house heavily. So you imagine you being locked in your house with your children and everything. You locking the doors and they pouring gasoline through a hole they made in your door.
اللي عملوه في الباب داخل البيت بشكل كثيف. الأطفال منهم.
Muhammad said, owner of the house and sheep. 3 of the children suffered from suffocation.
3 يعني أصابوا بحالة اختناق. يعني كانت الإصابة البالغة.
With the most severe case being a 6-month-old child who is now in the hospital. So they don't care about your kids, man. As a matter of fact, one of the raids in Chicago, the military dude or the guy who was part of the race said, fuck them kids. So that's Esau. He don't give a fuck about your kids, man. He'll eat your kids.
عمره 6 شهور للحين في المستشفى لأنه بيعاني من التهاب.
The child is suffering from a pneumonia and a lack of oxygen.
رئوي ومن نقص في الأكسجين.
Look at the sheep. They still alive, but they all bruised up. This snake couldn't kill the sheep. The Lord protected the sheep. That's the spirit. Shit, the Lord loves his sheep, man. Let me grab this in the book of 2nd Esdras. Chapter, I think it's 5. Let me see where it's at. Chapter 5. In verse 22, and my soul recovered the spirit of understanding, and I began to talk with the Most High again, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee one only vine. So he loves the vine. And of all the lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily. So one pit is talking about a land, and it's talking about Jerusalem. And out of his favorite, his flowers is the lily. And of the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river, and that river is the Jordan River. And of all the builded cities, thou hast hollowed Zion unto thyself. And of all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove. So he loves the dove. And of all the cattle that are made, thou hast provided thee one sheep. And ultimately, that's talking about his elect. But he loves the sheep. And here it is. They went in there, defenseless sheep. He's in there poking them up, and he saved them from Amalek. Amalek does shit like that for no reason.
Heartbreak across the gaming community. A man who helped shape modern video games and influenced an entire generation is gone. Vince Zampella, the legendary co-creator of Call of Duty, killed in a deadly crash on a mountain highway in LA County. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live tonight with the update. Matthew.
The irony of it all, man. Killed the dude who created Call of Duty.
Well, Christine, this man impacted millions of people all over the world. One of two people killed in this crash.
Crazy.
New intense video obtained exclusively by Fox 11 moments after a deadly Ferrari crash.
Oh my God! What the
The single-car collision claiming 2 lives, including video game pioneer 55-year-old Vince Zampella. The California Highway Patrol says they're actively reviewing witness video like this as they investigate what exactly caused the car to lose control Sunday afternoon on Angeles Crest Highway.
Damn, and this shit caught fire. That shit's crazy, man. But the funny part about it all is who the fuck is taking the video of that? All of this is what I be saying, all this shit be fake as hell, man. People be getting put to death. Fucking people telling you, oh, put this shit in this movie. He's probably like, no, I ain't putting that shit in that movie. Okay. That's it. That's it, man. Amalek ain't gonna argue with you, man. He got you already. Lord ain't dealing with you. And that's what's wrong with a lot of you Edomites, man. Y'all think this is like some type of game, man. You think you can play both sides of the fence, man. You either gonna be fully wicked and know that you the damn wicked and embrace the fact that you an Edomite, or the Lord don't need you. Same with the righteous. Okay, you don't want to do the work. See you the fuck later. You want to be a whistleblower? See you the fuck later. That's our job. Oh, some of y'all, it's your job too, but most importantly, it's for us to condemn you. That's our heritage. Your heritage is being a demon, being evil, robbing, stealing, being a nigger. That's what your heritage is about. Get this in Isaiah 54. These curses are gonna be coming up on you real soon. We got all types of names for you Edomites. That the bywords starting to fall off of us, and they creeping over to you. Because of Deuteronomy 30:7. And we gonna be the crackers in these last days too. We're gonna be cracking your ass with a whip, with a bull whip. Isaiah 54. Verse 17, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let's look this up. Isaiah 54:17 means God promises his servants that any harm intended against them, whether physical attacks or verbal accusations, will ultimately fail, as he ensures their protection, vindication, and success, making this divine security their rightful inheritance. It's a message of ultimate victory, assuring believers that evil schemes against them won't prosper, their accusers will be silenced, and God's righteousness is their defense, even amidst suffering. And best believe this devil is trying to attack all the time. All the time, man. He's probably watching right now. And guess what? The Lord's, they always try to do something, and the Lord shows them, yeah, do it again. He probably done put mad people to death for fucking with us. But we don't know about it, but the wicked do. They know the Lord's dealing with you or not. No way we should be alive right now if there wasn't a power talking all this shit about this damn devil. But you gotta watch out. Call of Duty creator Vince Zampella dies in Ferrari crash. I wouldn't be surprised if they sold him a Ferrari that they can manipulate. As soon as you go off, they can just put your ass to death easily. Have you crash into a wall. You ain't even putting your foot on the gas. He's controlling it. Russia Porsche has a kill switch and they wanted to get rid of it. News. There was some news I was reading about. Yes, recent news, late 2025 reports hundreds of Porsches in Russia were bricked, rendered immobile due to a failure in their satellite-linked vehicle tracking system, VTS, which mistakenly read loss of signal as theft, triggering an engine immobilizer, highlighting remote kill switch risks even as Porsche stopped Russian operations in 2022. Owners face issues restarting cars, with some fixes involving battery disconnections or VTS resets. But the incident sparked broader concerns about connected car security and potential misuse, including by governments, notes KTLA. So what they were saying was that some of these cars, these Russian Porsches that were bought, they turned the car off, and they think it's being manipulated by foreign governments. So their Porsches were hacked. And that just made me think of this news article that I was writing about. So there's a lot of shit going on. Now that you hear this Lamborghini situation, because it's somebody that's like as high as he was, with Call of Duty and things like that, those people don't die deaths that are, they always controversial deaths, people like him. He's on a crazy ass highway. That's probably like, remember this nigga can go and put bombs in your beeper. So you can't. This dude got so many ways to kill you with. Shit, man. Anyone who talk shit about him, he should just put him to death. But he can't, because he don't have the power over life or death. It's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Think we serve the Lord in vain? We know that the Lord's working. Crazy.
A windy, mountainous stretch of road in rural LA County, popular with drivers and motorcyclists, but notorious for serious, sometimes fatal crashes.
Just awful, as a well-respected person in the community.
Zampella, a foundational figure in modern gaming.
New extraction point fast.
Best known for co-creating the Call of Duty franchise, one of the highest-grossing video game series of all time.
Call of Duty's the shit too, man. That game was fucking, you can't even play that shit no more. Fucking too many sweats on that shit. But, that game, I wonder how much money he made off this game.
Also helping build the massively successful Apex Legends universe, played by millions around the world.
You never met him, but this person had a huge impact in your life. I hope that whoever came across his games, his family, the community, I hope, they're all right and they grieve how they need to.
Shit, the fucking dude from Dragon Ball Z died too. I think he was a Jake.
Zampella leaves behind 3 kids, the oldest just 26 years old. Reporting last time, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Oh, they're gonna be great.
New.
They're gonna be set up. Sure, you got all types of life insurance and shit. Fucking evil, man. Call of Duty. How much did Call of Duty gross? The Call of Duty franchise has grossed over $30 billion. Wow. In lifetime revenues, with some estimates pushing that figure towards $35 billion or more through sales. Microtransactions and mobile revenue, making it one of the most successful entertainment franchises ever. But you know what? You got to watch out with some of these people too, because a lot of these games, they be a lot of it's military. The military be creating a lot of this shit. Okay, and they'll give it to somebody like him to make it look like, give him the credit for it, but it's all militarized. Just like your digital currencies, your Facebooks. The military created it. Then they'll give it to somebody like Zuckerberg, go out there and drop out of a college, Harvard University, and then because if the military tries to give it to you, you ain't gonna accept it. But you get this dude who dropped out of Harvard, you'll think, oh, I can trust him like a fool. You know, Bill Gates goes and tells you should go get jabbed up when he just told you he's trying to bring the population to zero because of the carbon footprint. But you people are so damn dumb you can't even put two and two together. He literally went on a TED Talk and told you how he was trying to make an equation go to zero to stop greenhouse gases. And he put population in the equation. And he's like, we got to lower this and this and this in order to make it go to zero. And we want to do that via jab shots. Foolishness. But that's what you people do. When I say you people, I'm talking about you 2/3, and you heathen. Because the elect, they know all of this. This is boring to the elect. The elect hear this all the time. This is just, it's basic understanding. But to a lot of y'all, we gotta do this work. Lord's well, I'm a part of that number because a lot of y'all are stupid as hell. Filled with Esau's propaganda. Ecclesiasticus 13 and 23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith, they extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. So when a rich man speak, you hold your tongue. You know, you actually use your ears and you accept what they're saying as if it's like facts, and you move according to what they tell you. You know, so that's why the military knows that. Ultimately, it's Esau. Ultimately, it's the Lord. Okay, because all of it is to fulfill the Lord's will. If He wants people to be on Facebook, He knows how to get you to do it. But even though I ain't been on that shit in a long time, a lot of people saw where that thing was going and started refraining from getting on these apps like that. Because it's all wicked. You know, this devil's just tracking you all the damn time. Data farming you so he can try to use information he gains from you against you. Try to advertise things to you, and he probably got a whole algorithm based on you and how to approach you. So that's what they do. They look at the rich man, they say, okay, let me listen to what he got to say. And this nigga just told you to go kill yourself, and you go do it. Because y'all are stupid. Just like Jim Jones did when he had you, everyone in the harlot house went, follow Esau into the woods and went and drank some Kool-Aid and died. Foolishness. And that's the same thing what y'all doing now. Y'all did it with the jab shot. So it's undeniable when the MOTB comes out, how they're going to do it. The Lord already showed you multiple times you can't trust this nigga. But you keep trusting him, and this is the last time. This is it. You want to drink the Kool-Aid now? Yeah, you get what you deserve. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will help to overthrow him. And that's what y'all do. You'll help to overthrow the poor man for telling you the truth. Matter of fact, what's that precept? Do you hate me because I tell you the truth? The answer is yes. Galatians 4, verse 16. Let's grab that. Galatians 4, verse 16. And I am therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. Yes, we become your enemy because we tell you the truth. Let's see what this is.
It has been a heart-wrenching week for the Jewish community as we mark the 8th and final night of Hanukkah. It feels more important than ever to celebrate this season of hope, faith, and light.
Hold on, when was the 8th day? This is 1 day ago.
The Museum of the Bible here in Washington, visitors have a rare chance to connect with one of the most incredible artifacts in religious history, the Dead Sea Scrolls. It's our Sunday special.
These are very precious treasures.
Yes, so I mean, we're talking 2,000-year-old documents.
Christmas at the Museum of the Bible offers no shortage of remarkable sights. But this year, something new, or rather, very, very old. A truly one-of-a-kind insight into the origins of the Judeo-Christian tradition. The Dead Sea Scrolls, the oldest known manuscript of the Hebrew Bible.
I would argue, and I'm biased, but I would say the Dead Sea Scrolls are the greatest archaeological discovery ever. These texts that we see here still have an ongoing reality for anyone who reads the Bible.
The scrolls, which must be filmed in strict low-light conditions due to their age, were discovered by accident in 1947 by Bedouin shepherds in a cave on the shores of the Dead Sea.
The group that hid them in the caves was probably fleeing the Romans. Fortunate for the history of scholarship, they didn't come back because now we have these treasures here today that probably would have just disappeared in history.
Now the property of the Israel Antiquities Authority, the sacred texts can only be shown to the public for a few months at a time.
We have 8.
Yeah, these scrolls are probably fake. They're using the Syrian text. That's not what the modern day, that's not what the Paleo Hebrew looks like.
Documents here, but in 3 months they will cycle out and we'll go back into hibernation in Israel in a climate-controlled, light-controlled vaults for 5 years.
This literally is where it all begins. This is a snapshot of Genesis.
Yes, so this is one of our oldest copies of the book of Genesis at Qumran. And what's more significant about this one, it actually has the...
Oh, it is the Paleo Hebrew. Oh, shit. Look at that on 144. Shows you the Paleo up here at the top. I think that says Yahweh right there. Let me look that up as a matter of fact. Yup, Yah. That's the spirit. That's the Yah. Let me see. No, that's not Yahweh. Yeah, that is. You got the Yah, the Ha. The Wa looks like a Y. Yah, Ha, Wa, Ha. Let's see. No, I don't know if that is.
And what's more significant...
I don't know. I can barely see it. This thing's in my way.
About this one, it actually...
Oh, no, that's a Z. I think that's the Paleo. I can't really tell though.
Actually has the first, it has the lines where it talks about God created the heavens and the earth.
Mm-hmm. And to billions of people around the globe, these are the foundation of their lives.
Absolutely.
The priceless antiquities, just one part of a brand new exhibit.
Wow.
Offering visitors of all faiths an unprecedented glimpse into life in the Holy Land in the time of Christ. So,
look at these fake images, man. Fake. They put Cesar Borgia. These people, just lies. They just put lies in front of your face, man. Despicable. This painting is worth... I don't even know how much is this. I don't even know how much I would like to know. Let me find out. How much is the picture? How much is the portrait of Jesus sitting at the table of Last Supper? It says you can't buy Leonardo da Vinci. You can't buy Leonardo da Vinci's original Last Supper, a mural, but copies and related art vary widely in price, from affordable digital prints on Etsy, $2 to $10, to rare attributed sketches selling for over $200,000, and even a Da Vinci Christ portrait selling for $450 million. Showing immense value is placed on authentic works or high quality related pieces. And that shit's fake. That shit's fake. And that's worth $450 million. So these people don't know. They put value in falsehoods. But the Russian icons should be well over $450 million, because that's the biggest secret hidden in plain sight that no one sees the value in it, because the images are dark, because they hate the truth. This world is crazy as hell, man.
What I love about modern day discoveries is they can
in the time of Christ.
So, what I love about modern day discoveries is they continue. And this is actually one of the newer discoveries.
Yeah, so in 2009, they were building a guest house at a Catholic retreat center on the western shore of the Sea of Galilee. And one of the digging machines actually hit this stone, which stalled the project. And then they realized they needed to do an excavation, because this limestone table was discovered and was the first piece of a full synagogue from the first century that was discovered. Once it was fully excavated, and from coins and other things, they know it was in existence around the same time that Jesus and the disciples had been going around the Sea of Galilee. I am very convinced Jesus would have been in this synagogue.
In addition to treasures of the ancient world,
No, that looks like the Assyrian text. It's just probably fake.
the museum uses state-of-the-art technology to give modern perspective on the 2,000-year-old text. For Rabbi Moshe Englander, a resident scholar at the museum who specializes in writing the words of the Torah, it represents a culmination of his life's work.
What does it mean to you to be able to be in the presence of these documents and to see, as you said, the legacy that's gone uninterrupted?
It's a feeling of pride.
The legacy that has gone uninterrupted. Oh my God, man. You see, people can't catch on to this shit because they don't know. Hey, the water for the apostles and elders pointing this shit out, man. I gotta grab it. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So when she said, it's really a cut if you know the scriptures.
Uninterrupted.
Uninterrupted history. This is when will you discontinue from your heritage? This precept is a profound precept. Because you ask the modern day Jew, he'll say it never been interrupted. I got paperwork showing that I'm the son of God. Hold on, let me dust off this scroll. Look at, this is my great-great-grandfather. Look at, I'm related to Moses. I'm related to Adam. I go all the way back to Adam. You see? Shit don't make any sense, man. Let me grab this in the book of John. Chapter 6. Or is it 7? Might be 7. Where he says the flesh profiteth nothing. Jeremiah 7. No, it might be 6. Jeremiah 6 and Jeremiah 6. And 63. I think this is it. Jeremiah. John 6, verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. So this is how we came back to who we were after being discontinued from John 17:4, from our heritage. That's why a nation calling themselves black, you're black. Ain't no nation called black in the Bible. And the reason why they do this is because they don't want you to know who you are. They stole your identity. It is the spirit that quickeneth. So the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is what made us alive. The flesh profiteth nothing, meaning paperwork, scrolls, DNA samples, he dug this up and he hit this and we opened it up and you got the Assyrian text. That's not what proves that you're Israel. Okay? It's the spirit. The spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. Like it says in Romans, the 8th chapter. Romans 8 in verse 16. The spirit beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. So it had nothing to do with paperwork. It had nothing to do with, it's just the spirit of God. He endowed us with the spirit for us to believe. It tells you in Ephesians 2:8 that it's a gift. Ephesians 2:8, for by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. So God gave us the gift of faith. That's why we know who we are in these last days, not because of any paperwork like Amalek thinks. But not everyone is Amalek either. You know, some of those people, they know the truth. I mean, Abba Bivens even learned from some of these people. So, you know, they know. They know. Revelation 11:8, and their body shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, which is talking about America. The dead bodies are you dead Israelites. And they of the people and the kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So the heathen didn't even tell you. They know who you are, and they don't want to tell you who you are. That's the grand conspiracy, that all these nations are against the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. They're confederate against you, according to Psalms, the 83rd chapter. But hey, you ain't got to believe, man. So that's what I wanted to grab. At least he got a beard on his face. I got to give it to him.
Legacy that's gone uninterrupted.
It's a feeling of pride and privilege, and to know that I'm part of that chain of transmission, and the chain has been true all the way to here and now, today, and the way we practice Judaism today. What is the significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls? We've been doing this since we received the revelation Mount Sinai 3,337 years ago. And it's been a legacy we've carried for 100 generations.
So as we're in a period...
So he just admitted, man. He don't acknowledge, it's not in their minds that they were discontinued from their heritage and that they needed the spirit to come back. Just like the Gentiles in the New Testament. After all the Greek captivity and all that. You know, and if you are the people, why isn't the spirit telling you to go prophesy? A lot of them deny Yahweh. What's that all about? Why are you still doing sacrifices? Why are you doing the red heifer? So that's like a heathen. They don't believe in Yahweh. So you really don't got any faith. You probably deny the whole book of Hebrews. Deny Paul. You deny Yahushua is the Son of God, and he tells you if you deny that Yahushua is the Son of God, you condemned already. So it's either you believe the scriptures or you don't, man. So a lot of people don't believe. But if you want to put your trust and faith in accolades and, all right, well, we came here in 1948 and all that, that's the flesh. But the spirit, now that's more powerful than the flesh. Now this world might look at the flesh as something that's powerful because they're carnal. But there's going to be a time where it's going to be undeniable that the spirit's way stronger than the flesh. When the Lord increases that power.
Where it's a holiday, it's a celebration. We're amidst Hanukkah now. What does all of this?
And the Hanukkah thing, man, I don't know, this year, this Hanukkah really been sitting with me because you know, when you learn about Hanukkah, you learn about Judas Maccabeus fighting for the law, statutes, and commandments, and then you think you celebrating something that you break the laws. There's nothing but rampant homosexuality in the land. Judas Maccabeus would go around slaying y'all if that was the real Israel. So it's not the same type of people. You know, in Jerusalem, get the hell out of here. Where they fought like that, no. Israel wasn't known for nothing like that. Okay. I'm not saying they didn't have any homosexuals then. I'm just saying it wasn't like glorified the way it is today. So that's weirdo shit, man. And where does it say Abraham orally circumcised Isaac? It don't say that. Lord never told him to do anything like that. So there's some things that when you look into the whole matter, it don't match up with the biblical Israelites. Why you change your name from there's a lot of things. I mean, if you know, you know. If you don't know, then you don't know. I mean, the information is there. If you don't want to look it up for yourself, then hey, it's all right. It tells you in Romans 3:3. So what if someone did not believe? Does it make the faith of God with no effect? God forbid. Matter of fact, let me grab that since I chopped that up. But basically, it don't matter if you believe or not. It says, Romans 3:3, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So we're going to see when thou art judged, who is who. The Lord's going to be separating the tares from the wheat. We're going to know who is who in these last days. He said, let them grow up together. But eventually there's going to be a separation. And those of you who are on the left-hand side are going to be destroyed. But those of you on the right, you're the sheep.
Do and mean to you amidst Hanukkah now? What does all of this do and mean to you in that holiday context as well?
It's very symbolic. As a matter of fact, we were talking about the Isaiah scroll. Isaiah 52 says the mission of the Jewish people is to be a light unto the nations. This is the Festival of Lights.
That legacy of faith perhaps most evident in the exhibit's ending display, a 4-time...
And how are you a light unto the nations? You got witness to destruction, 1947, 1948, 1952. So you let this dude tell it, man, he's the Romans and a Jew. If you're the real Jew and the Romans are giving you all this money, so Israel's empowered in. Israel ain't in captivity, so the Lord never came back. You're ruling without Yahushua. How does that make any sense? I would deny the Lord if I was already in power. Why would I? What do I need the Lord for? I'm in the land. I got military. I got capability. I'm bombing people and I do whatever the hell I want. I run the whole earth. Job 9:24. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So with that type of mindset, of course, I would deny the Lord. But if you are in captivity, if you're doing what the Lord told you to do, that's fruit of the Spirit right there. Who are His and who are not.
Stone from the Western Wall. 4-ton stone from the Western Wall, where believers from around the globe leave written prayers for their intentions and the needs of the world.
Visitors can have the feeling of the experience, those who haven't been to Jerusalem and to the Old City, of what it actually feels like to walk.
When did they do that? When did that custom become about? That's not in the Bible. Exodus 20, make sure you leave a note in the west wall. It don't say that.
Up to the Western Wall, they can feel the stone first of all and touch it and connect with it. And they can also...
They love the stone. Craziness, man. Craziness. You know, that's just, you know, I hope the Lord does what He does. And when that confusion gets all cleared up, only the Lord, you gotta suffer it. Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. So they were scattered among all people, all 12 tribes, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So you should be Israel scattered within all nations. Okay, he tries to bring some heathen over there and claim that, I think the Ethiopians are stupid as hell, man. Not all of them, some of them, they think they got the Ark of the Covenant. These people are fucking crazy. You know, so there's a lot of confusion amongst these nations. Clearly they don't understand Revelation, the first chapter. And they just don't do what the Lord commanded His people to do. You know, when they bring out the word, where do they go? They go hide in the rocks. They go hide in a cleft of the rocks, and they go worship a damn devil. All right? Where in the Bible does it tell you the Sabbath day is on Saturday? Keep the Sabbath day holy, but Saturday there was no Saturday. It tells you in Genesis, the first chapter, the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day. The seventh day, there was a rest. How did they know if there was no Monday through Sunday? They knew by the moon. Why aren't you implemented by the moon? Then when you look into that, you realize that there's gods associated with these days. And when you look into that, you realize Saturn goes back to the you can look it up. What is Saturday's connection with the planet of Saturn and Satan? Saturday is directly named after the planet Saturn, which was in turn named for the Roman god Saturn. There is no historical, linguistic, or etymological connection between Saturday/Saturn and the figure of Satan. Claims that such a link exists only in certain esoteric, genetic, or conspiracy-oriented interpretations. Okay, so the Roman god Saturn. Tell me more about this devil. The Roman god, the day and planet were named after Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture, wealth, time, and periodic renewal. His reign was mythologized as a golden age of peace and abundance. So that's the god they worship. Ultimately, Satan. Linguistic difference. Satan is a Hebrew word, shaitan, meaning adversary or accuser. Saturn comes from the Latin Saturnus, related to the verb servere, to sow. The phonetic similarity in English is a coincidence. Sure. Esoteric interpretation. Some Gnostic or occult traditions draw symbolic parallels between Saturn and Satan, linking them through themes of limitation in material world and karmic justice. These are specific interpretations within the niche belief systems and not part of the historical origin of the same name site. Whatever. Maybe I'm not asking. Why is Saturn linked to Lucifer / Satan? When did it? Yeah, that's a better way. Let's ask them that question. Why is it linked? I think it's the star. Saturn is linked to Satan not through the direct biblical text, but via later esoteric, Gnostic, and alchemical interpretations where they share traits like being lords of limitation, representing task boundary, Saturn, or opposition. Satan / Lucifer, darkness, in the time were merged, creating a symbolic association where the planet's restrictive karmic nature. I don't know, this saying some stupid shit. Does Saturn have a morning star? So yes, Saturn can appear as a morning star, but it's not as the famously bright as Venus or any planet visible in the pre-dawn sky. Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus with a scope can be called a morning star. Saturn often shines steadily in the east before sunrise. As it approaches opposition, closest point to Earth, it appears as a bright, steady point of light, distinct from the twinkling stars, and its visibility changes depending on its orbit relative to Earth and the sun. So Saturn is the morning star. I forgot where, but I forgot what I'm thinking about. I'm kind of tired, but I'm just gonna finish it up. I'm using too much brain power for this. Let me finish this.
Write notes, prayers, anything they want to say. And of course, in Jerusalem, we put them in the wall, and they're messages to God.
That's universal, because God is listening no matter where you are, whether it's here or the Western Wall.
That's right. They really want.
They send messages to God. You think the Lord's hearing this shit? Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, let me just write a letter to God. Foolishness. Ecclesiasticus, the Lord's not listening to the prayers of the wicked. Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus confirms God isn't pleased with wicked offerings and hears the righteous, aligning with this theme of divine favor towards the upright. Let's go there. Ecclesiasticus 34 and 19. The Lord ain't listening to people that do shit like that. Ecclesiasticus 34 and 19, it says, the Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the wicked, neither is he pacified for sin by the multitude of sacrifices. Yeah, that's not going to work with him. Emphasizing that true righteousness and justice matter more than mere ritual gifts from ill-gotten gains. The verse highlights that offerings from the ungodly, especially those stolen from the poor, are unacceptable and don't cover their sins. Proverbs 15 and 29, that's probably what I'm looking for, along the lines of the same thing. Basically, the Lord's not listen. He's only listening to his elect, and Yahweh Shai is only praying for the elect, and that's it. This is why you got to be firm in the scriptures, because you can be deceived easily if you're not. Proverbs 15 verse 29, the Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous, and the righteous are the elect. All right. Ultimately, it's the Israelites, but it's ultimately the elect, because it tells you the prayers of the righteous pierce the clouds. Where's that at? Sirach 35 verse 17. Sirach 35 verse 17. The prayer of the humble pierceth the clouds. So that's the opposite of the proud. Until it come nigh, he will not be comforted, and will not depart till the Most High shall behold the judge to judge up righteously and execute judgment. So the prayer of the humble pierces the clouds. Sirach 35 and 16. He that serveth the Lord shall be accepted with favor, and his prayer shall reach unto the clouds. So there you go. And who's serving the Lord? The men that you see on the highways and hedges condemning the wicked to judgment.
I wanted people to feel the power of what it feels like to be there.
And that exhibit runs through September of next year.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kelly.
Ain't no power in a rock. All right. Well, I'm ending here. Lord's will, this is edifying. Shalom.